has a differing opinion, Howard Hardcore.
You know, at this point, I don't care what comes
I
out.
agree. I agree, Casey. I
Okay.
agree totally.
And
you're 100% right.
Does this ring a bell for you, Dale? Huh? This comment? Huh?
Yeah, I'm very familiar. I'm very familiar with that.
Yeah, that was a comment you left in the green room.
I stand by it too.
Yeah, and that wasn't even necessary, okay? Because James was a professional and he was trying to give Avi some constructive criticism.
He's still a stooge. I've yet to receive any right guard product. He's a stooge.
Well, you know what? Maybe he doesn't want to give you any because you're just not worthy.
That's obvious. That's obvious.
Yeah. See, he gives competitors that actual, you know.
If he saddles up with a guy like you, then that tells me all I need to know about James. If he endorses a guy like you, sides with a guy like you, buddies up with a guy like you, Howard, that tells me all I need to know about James from right guard.
Okay, great. So you're saying I'm less of a man. I'm not a Southern boy. You know, I don't have to say him.
You got the boy part right. You got the boy part right.
Okay, I'm not a Southern man. I don't have the fortitude. Okay, well, explain to me this. Why does Mike Drosy, why is he on my team? Why does he endorse me?
I respect Mike Drosy, but none of us are perfect. There's only been one perfect man that's ever walked the planet, and Mike Drosy's not a perfect man. He can make a mistake just like anyone else can.
Okay. Well,
good guy, but he can make a mistake as well.
Well, he's a good judge of character, and he's obviously judged me as a good character. And
yeah, you're a character. That's exactly right. You said it. You're a character. You said it exactly right. Spot on. You hit it. You hit it at the park when you said.
What I also meant by that term is that I'm a man of character as well. You see, I can be a character, right? Because I'm very animated. I'm very emotional. Hence the name Hardcore. Okay. I'm also a man of character.
Rotten character, Howard.
Yeah, I don't think so. Look, Dale, just be the first to sign this petition. Okay, you're a man of justice, correct? You want justice served. So here you go. Just sign the thing. I'm trying to see if I could just reach out and sign it. That's all. That's all you really need to do, Dale.
There's more than enough reasons for me not to sign that. One, of course, is you, Howard. And the other is the signs that your niece printed up for you that's over your back shoulder there.
Actually, no, I'm sorry. I take credit for that one. That was me. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It looks comparable to what your niece did and makes about as much sense as that garbage document you're wanting me to sign.
Interesting. Okay. Well, you know what? I'm not going to. Oh, hey. Oh, Sarge. Interesting.
Finally.
Oh, hey.
Guys, you're here, Sarge.
Sorry, I was just shining my boots. just working on my boots here.
Looks like you've already shined the time or two, Sarge.
What?
Oh, again, just with the jokes, the boots, right? Because the boots, it's possibly those were the boots that hit my face. Okay, you know, Sarge, where were you?
That looks
that doesn't look good at all. It doesn't feel good either, even when I try and eat.
Sarge,
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the writing in the back.
Oh yeah. Interesting. Just interesting. You know what I mean? I have this in my room all the time. It's kind of ironic how my room is
Sarge,
too.
Sarge,
just saying.
If your boots were the ones,
good evening, sir. How are you, Del?
I'm doing good. Good to see you. And let's just say your boots were the ones that did that. I'm not saying they did, but if they were, I would like to walk a mile in those boots, Sarge.
Wow. So we're just okay. Great. So we're just condoning violence.
I think that would go both ways, sir. I would again. Being knowing your status and stature, I'd love to walk a mile in your boots one day just to say that yes, it's on. We hear you. It's on.
He's unmuted me. So, Sarge, where were you last Saturday at 11 p.m.?
Honestly,
wow, we got to think about that one, don't we? Okay.
It's none of his business, Sarge. It's none of his business where you were. Who is he?
You know what? You were earlier. I heard you in. Because number one, you come in and you bump me. All right. I don't know what kind of stroke you got over there or what kind of little toys you got. Number one, you come in and you bump me. No, you be quiet now. You did enough jibber jabber. Now you be quiet. That's right. You're muted. Now I get to talk. Number one, you bump me. You don't bump me for no reason because I didn't do anything to you. That's number one. Number two, let's talk college football. I mean, let's give him his college due. But
let's do it, Sarge.
Again, we can talk about. I wanted to, I saw your Gamecocks. They didn't get played this week. That's not good. They postponed the game.
They did.
So I mean, they're out. I saw. We got the Lending Tree Bowl went off. Georgia State beat Western Kentucky. I didn't watch the whole game. It was a decent, but from what I saw, it was good. And your other team there in the Carolinas, Coastal Carolina, boy, they just got squeaked out in overtime. That was horrible.
Yeah, that was a good game, and just right there at the end, they had a field goal block, Sarge. But you go back to the Georgia State game. I've got a friend that's on that staff that was a local high school football coach right outside of Columbia that now is on Sean Elliott's staff at Georgia State, and also two former Gamecock football players, both defensive players. One being Bryson Allen Williams, it was a linebacker for us, is on the staff there. And we've got another former Gamecock on that staff. So that staff is eat up. The head coach, Sean Elliott, is a Camden, South Carolina native. So that staff at Georgia State has got a lot of representation from the Palmetto State on it.
Yeah, that's a stacked up staff. I mean, you can't, especially when you're bringing talent from within. You know who you're dealing with. You know who your guys are. You know their loyalty to the coach and to the program. So that's really a good, those are good additions there. And that game, 39-21, their running back only had 61 yards, so they really kept him down. The receiver, the quarterback only had 5 attempts for 57 yards and a touchdown. Where, your Cornelius Brown, that kid was 15 for 29. 226 and 3 TDs. He was shooting lights out all day.
Had a good game.
It was, and the running back had 117 yards. So they played really well. It was a good game.
Let me ask you this. The next time we get together, next Sunday, the two semifinal games will have already been played. Yep. Clemson versus Ohio State and Alabama versus Notre Dame. Who you've got in each of those games?
Being a Penn State fan, and I'm going to say this about Penn State, James Franklin did the right thing by having us not even try to participate because we didn't play well at the beginning of the season. We didn't deserve to be anywhere. We didn't, I'm glad we got a chance to play. I'm glad that, the president, wanted these teams to play, and he got them to play. But I'm glad James Franklin did what he did. Now, I'll say this. I am not an Ohio State fan. The Big Ten football is religion. So I'm going to go with Clemson just to go with Clemson. I don't think there's Clemson's given 7. So
yeah.
And the total is 67 right now. So that and the Notre Dame Alabama game, it's really hard to go against Alabama against with Notre Dame. 10-1, 11-0. Alabama 20.5 points. That's a lot of points to
it is.
Saban, and he was, come on, Nick Saban was even.
What'd you say? That is a lot of.
Nick Saban was out how many times with the virus? Half of his team had gotten sick at one point. They shut operations down, and they still come out 11-0.
Yeah.
You can't even say they're cheating because everybody's playing on a level playing field this year, So yeah. It's one of those things.
Yeah, that's a big spread in a national semifinal game, a 20-point spread. Now I'm on the shoes on the other foot with me. You said you could not pull for Ohio State. I cannot pull for Clemson. I think you can understand why. I think they'll beat Ohio State. I think Alabama will beat Notre Dame, and I think we'll have another Alabama-Clemson rematch. I hope it doesn't happen. I would love to see Ohio State win, but my gut tells me we'll see Alabama-Ohio State in the national championship game 11 days after the two semifinal games.
I think so, and it's just going to be, at that point, who you got. You got Alabama, you got Clemson. It's just going to be I think, honestly, that might just be a pick 'em.
Yeah, obviously
it's that close.
Yeah, and I think if it does come down to those two, I think it'll be a high-scoring game. I don't see a lot of defense played there, especially with those two offenses as good and explosive as they are. Well,
Yeah.
Sarge, we've gone almost 25 minutes into.
And that's the thing.
Go ahead.
Yes, sir. 25 minutes. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, we've gone almost 25 minutes. Let's bring our buddy Avi Klein in and see what he's got to say about it.
Well, I got to tell you guys right off the bat, every single time you guys talk about college football, I'm there in the back, and I'm listening, I'm soaking it all in, until uninvited guests like Howard Collado shows up and takes Sarge's time. Sarge, I want to, on behalf of the entire family of WWAB, I want to apologize for that earlier incident.
You know what? Here's the thing. You know, you can pick your nose, you can pick your ties, and you can't pick your family. And when you got a guy like Howard, you know, he's that one cousin that we got to keep an eye on at the family reunion because we never know what he's going to do.
So well said. We all
family's family.
Right.
We get it, but it is what it is.
Well, you handle it with class and grace, and I can't wait for next Sunday because you'll be back again talking college football as well. And Maintaining the Truth this Wednesday. We'd like to have you on. We'll talk after the podcast. Sarge, anything you want to let the viewers know, because the viewers love you over here. You guys are the engine that makes us go. You are part of the family. Gus, yes, Sarge. Get him, Sarge. The Sarge. They love Sarge. Any words for our viewers, Sarge?
Number one, I'm humbled. I'm very humbled that I've been brought into this family and I get a chance to talk about, you know, some stuff that I love, like football and wrestling and some politics. But, you know, we got to give a big shout out to those 5 cops, those 6 cops down there in Tennessee on Christmas morning. Boy, they saved a lot of lives, man. If it wasn't for those cops being, you know, on their game, boy, that's a midnight shift, Christmas Day. Nobody wants to be there. And, you know, working in the prison system, being in law enforcement, you don't want to be anywhere on Christmas Day or Christmas Eve. You just want to be home with your family, and somebody's got to pull that shift. And boy, those 6 cops, they hit a home run. I mean, you know, unfortunately, you know, the suspect was in the vehicle from what reports are saying, and he is deceased. But on the other hand, you know, they saved a lot of people's lives, and only 3 people went to the hospital. Nobody died that didn't need to. And, you know, like John Rich said the other day, I was watching Fox News, and John Rich, country singer, he owns a bar down there, Redneck Riviera. You know, he's, you know, a great guy. You know, they just had a tornado in Nashville 5 months ago. And it seems like now it's 5 years ago that tornado hit because of everything that's been going on this year. So today, you know, I'm going to, you know, maybe I can start a little thing, giving a salute of the day or salute of the show. My salute of the show is going to go to those 6 Nashville cops, that one sergeant, those 5 patrol officers. They hit it out of the park, saved a lot of people, saved a lot of resources. You can always build stuff back. You can always get items back. You can't get your family back. You can't get a life back. And those 6 cops, they hit it out of the park that day, man.
Well, you hit it out of the park, and I just want to throw it over to Dell in 1 second before you leave. I'm saying this from the heart. Thank you for bringing up this story. I think that's heroic for you to bring that up because obviously the mainstream media is not going to cover it for longer than one night or one day. It is an amazing story for sure. I'm glad you brought it up. Dell, any words for Sarge?
Well, I too echo Avi's sentiments in saying thank you for bringing it up. Thank you for what you do, for what you've done, for your service to the nation and to your community as well. And I agree with you. That's a good thing, the salute of the day. Good idea. That is the salute of the day to those 6 officers, 6 very brave officers that, like you said, saved a lot of lives. Good move, Sarge.
You know, that all the stuff that's gone on, and if I'm rambling, I'm sorry, but all the stuff that's gone on this past year, you know, that's 1%, or that's 1/10 of 1% of the good guys. You know, a lot of people forget, and they're that, you know, they see that thin blue line sticker, that thin blue line flag. That line separates chaos from order.
Yes.
And see, you had 6 people that they didn't have to run in there. That's 1% of that, and that's 1% of the nation of that do this job, that go into a situation like that. And they were keen enough and quick enough to hear these messages going off and saying, we got a problem and got to get these guys out of here. And, you know, and again, I know last week or a week before.
I know it doesn't fit the national narrative.
It
doesn't fit the national narrative, Sarge. It doesn't fit the national narrative to talk about the strengths of law enforcement, but I thank you for doing that, man, honestly.
And I agree, and that's the thing. You don't want to, everybody wants them when they need them, but when they don't need them, they want to